Today we are going to discuss about the solid principles. So SOLID, solid. What is meant by solid? Solid principles, design principles that helps you develop, create more maintainable and understandable and flexible software. For example, the solid principle, what they will do is you learn the OOPS concepts, right? How to use those OOPS concepts in various situations. So they provide the solution for the OOPS problems, right? So what is meant by yes? Yes stands for SRP. That means single responsibility principle. So what it tells is a class should have only one reason to change. It should perform a single single responsibility, right? So for example, now let, let me create a project. New project. I'm taking a console application. Solid principles. Of course, I'm giving the name, any name you can give. So 8.0. I'm creating the using the LTS version 8.0. I want to add. So now I want to create a customer class where I can able to add the customer and the corresponding order class which is related to his orders. Now I want to add the customer class and the order information. Customer I'm adding the order information as well. So now in the program.cs making it as read line in order to make the screen visible. So I will create the customer. Okay, make it simple. Make it customer C1. So customer C1 dot customer ID. For example, customer C1 dot customer name equal to test. For example. Okay. Now I will add the customer one dot register customer. I am trying to register the customer. It's fine. Customer one dot order ID. What is the for example order ID 10. customer one dot dish name, for example biryani or something. So customer one dot order quantity one dot place order. So if you run this application, yeah, it's working well. It's working well, and you will see the output. But the problem is, the serious problem here is, we are adding the customer information and the order information. Both are in the same place. For example, if tomorrow there is a another thing which is called as add customer. For example, if you got the another method like add customer, yes, not add customer, validate customer. Uh, Validate. Okay. Then what you are doing is, what we are doing here, you are changing the customer which are having the customer information as well as the order information. So it is not the good practice, because you may end up with the serious problems later. Because why the customer who is the responsible for the customer related information, okay, customer related information, why it needs to do the order related stuff, right? So the what single responsibility principle says us, SRP says us, a class should have only one reason to change. It should not perform a it should perform a single responsibility. So how do we need to change this? We need to change like this. Add class order public. So I am moving all the order related stuff. Okay, and I am updating this one. Simple. Now, now I updated. Now it is working same as before. Okay. For example, if due to some cause, okay, if this order is not working properly, or like if you wanted to change some other thing, like add some other methods related to the order, then there is no need of changing the customer related function, right? So both are independent and both are doing their own work. So here order class handles the order related functionality, while the customer class handles the customer management, right? So the next principle. The next principle is OCP, means but closed for modification. Class should be open for extension but closed for modification. What does that mean? Let us have one more class which handles the payments. So I created the payment class, and in the payment class I created the process payment. Okay, one is payment type is credit card and another one payment type is PayPal. Now what I'm trying to do is, after the placing the order, payment v1 is equal to one dot process payment. So I'm trying to send I'm trying to send credit card. Okay, that's fine. If I have the PayPal payment, I can send the PayPal payment. So but there is a problem here. The problem is in tomorrow, if I wanted to add one more payment, let's say UPI, then I need to add the UPI here. Okay, so whenever there is new payment increases, like I need to modify this method. Okay, and of course passing like this also not good, but currently you need to add the okay, instead of, so actually what OPC says, class should be open for extension but closed for the modification. So here what we are doing, it's not closed for the modification, so we are modifying. So we should not modify, we should extend the class. So in order to extend the class, what we have, inheritance. We need to use the inheritance in order to make it as class should be open for the extension and closed for the modification. So let me do. So what I will do is, instead of doing like this, what I will do is I'll make the separate classes. So initially what I will do, so first I will create the an abstract method, public abstract void process payment. For example, this method is here process payment. Okay, this process payment, I will create the two more classes. Creating the public class credit card payment. Okay, what I'm trying to do is, I'm going to this one. What I'm trying to do is, I am trying to inherit from the payment. So here we'll do is override, which means I can able to override process payment, right? I made a process payment. So for the credit card, this one. And for the same, not the credit card, PayPal. Alright. Process payment. Right. Now I'm going to create, for example, if I need the one more type of payment. Okay. If I need the one more type of payment, now I can do that. For example, I can do public class on the credit card to pay. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I need to make the class as abstract. Okay. So now, like this, how we are using here, we are using the inheritance concept, and we can create as many payments as you want for the requirement, and we are not making any changes, to the existing class. Okay, we are changing only the derived class. For example, if there is a any default method, for example, public int add, okay, add something, okay. So maybe there is some code, return 0. Of course, there may be some code, but I am not writing any code. So here, this method is available for all the inherited the classes, which are inherited classes. For example, credit card, PayPal, and UPI, and they will extend their functionality as per their requirement. For example, this is process payment. You don't need to write the if else classes here, right? This is called as OCP principle, means open for extension. So you are open for the this class is open for the extension like this, but closed for the modification. You don't need to do any modifications here. Of course, if there is a bug, okay, then you need to modify. That is different. But like if there is no bug, and you want to implement the new functionality, then you need to use the OCP principle, so that the existing functionality, which is using the, for example, credit card or PayPal, okay, they won't be affected. They will work as it is, and the new functionality which you are developing by using the UPI, that only impacted, and you need to check that one only. Don't need to check these things, because the impact is very minimal. So if you add all the things in this class, then the impact is very high. Here we are using only is small code, but the hundreds, thousands of lines are there. Sometimes in the class, then you will face the problems. So OCP principle tells us the class is open for extension but closed for the modification. Okay, yeah. Now we'll discuss about the third principle. Lischko substitution principle. What it tells us is derived classes can able to substitute for their base classes. Okay, so what is the meaning of that? For example, I have the one more payment type class cash payment type. But here, like I don't want it to support the cash payments, so we are inheriting this and make it as a process payment through new not implemented exception. Okay, so how it will work happens is, for example, if there is a design problem, then it will happens. That's why it is called as Lischko substitution principle. So, like for example, now payment. What we are trying to do is list of payments list, new payment list. Okay, payment list dot add new medical credit card payment, for example. Okay, payment list dot add new PayPal dot add new UPI well list dot add new cash payment. Okay, now okay, I can able to add all of this. Now I wanted to create payment. Dot process payment, for example. So I am trying to run this one. Now we got the credit card payment. Okay, now I got the PayPal payment. That's fine. It's working fine. And now we got the UPI payment. Continue. Now I got the cash payment. Let's see what happens now. Let's go in here. And I got cash payment is not implemented. So that's an exception. So why? Because the cash payment is not implemented, but we included that in the inheritance. So the programmers who developed, so in this one, they may be confused, right? So now what I will do is I don't want to inherit from paying the cash payment. Okay. I will remove override method. Okay. Now what will happen? You see here you will get the cannot convert the solid principles cash payment to solid principles payment, right? So you will while creating the object also you will get the error. So you remove this. Now if you run this one, it will work fine. Okay. So you, so here derived classes can able to substitute their base class, right? The derived classes such as credit card, PayPal, UPI can able to substitute their base class, but the cash payment can't able to substitute because it is not implemented. So which classes are can able to substitute the base classes? Those needs to be used. That is called as Lisco substitution principle. Okay. Now we'll discuss about ISP means interface segregation principle. What does it mean? A class should not be forced to use different interfaces. Which it does not use. So what does that mean? For example, I have the order class. So I want to create the one interface and interface name with the order service. My order service. Okay. Now I am creating the order service interface like this. And there is a person who walks in but doesn't have any order. Okay, the person is walking to our showroom but he doesn't make. So if it is an online store, if ours is an online store, then the person will come. Okay, so I'm trying to create another. This is the online store. So there is the person he is walking. He doesn't place the order. He buy the item and process the payment. Don't do any other things. So if you create like this, then the problem is, so even though the person doesn't use the place order, we are forcing him to implement, right? We should not do like that. So what we can do, instead of doing like this, you can make these as separate separate entities like my order placement, click interface, I payment. Then, so the person who walks in, he doesn't place any order in the online, plus any payment by the online. So what we can do is we can create a method. So what we are doing here is the walk-in person don't do any payment online. So he may do the process with various payments such as cash payment also. So we are not creating the process payment for the walk-in order, but we are placing the order. So this is called as interface segregation. We divided the both methods as per their requirement in separate places. The last principle is DIP, called dependency principle. Means high-level module should not depend on the low-level module. Both should depend on abstraction. The meaning of dependency injection. High-level modules should not depend on low-level modules. Should depend on abstractions. Abstractions. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of this? For example, I have a email notification. Like I want to do the email notification. So I created the class email notification. So my class is like this. Class are like this. Email notification and order service. Okay. Whenever the order is completed, I wanted to do the your order is ready message. So here order service, what it will do, it is depend on email notification. Okay. So later, if you wanted to change anything, okay, related to the order service, then it will be difficult. Okay. So what we can do is, instead of doing like this, we can fix by depend on abstraction. Okay. So what we can do, instead of depending like this, so it's very hard to change later. So instead of depending like this, we can use the abstraction. How the abstraction will work? So first, instead of directly creating the email notification, for example, in future, you may want to the some other type of notification. So what you need to do is, we need to create one notification interface Then after that, the email notification need to inherit iNotification service, notification interface, and create method is notify. Sorry. Send it as okay. Now in the order service, what you will do is instead of depend on the email notification, because in future if you wanted to change anything, like if you wanted to change the email notification to some other notification, then it will be difficult if you do like this. So instead of doing like this, we will use the iNotification service. So this iNotification service will be useful by creating the one constructor. In the constructor, we will use the notifications, right? So now the notification is sent. So the class whichever he is using, they can depend. For example, I wanted to use mobile notification, for example. Notification message, while mobile. Now what I can do is wherever I am creating the order service, okay, simply I am creating the order service. Obviously, new order service. In the order service itself, I can pass the, for example, email notification. Okay, then start complete order. I can write like this. To service to mobile notification OS dot complete order. So now we are passing from the external. So we are inverting the responsibility of creating. We are inverting the responsibility of creating the which notification is needs to be used by the order service. So we are inverting that responsibility to the class which class which is creating the order object. So from here we are passing. So in future, if we add one more type of notification, then there is no problem to change here order service. We can add the as many notification services as you need, and the calling class will take the responsibility of passing the required notification object. So if you run this one, here find the mistake. So here I am using the OS instead of OS2. Okay. That's right. Email, mobile, your order is ready. So you can see here. So basically, there are 5 principles in the solid. S is for the single responsibility. And the single responsibility tells us a class should have only one reason to change. It should perform a single responsibility. OCP, classes should be open for extension but closed for the modification. Lisco substitution principle, derived classes must be substitutable for their base classes. Interface aggregation, ISP, a class should not be forced to implement interfaces it does not use. Dependency inversion principle, high-level modules should not depend on low-level modules. Both should